Welcome to Catholic News Roundup. I'm Christine Niles. Here are this week's top stories. In Brazil, a massive protest against dictatorship. Tens of thousands of Brazilians rallied in Sao Paulo Saturday, demanding the ouster of leftist President Lula da Silva and his henchman, Judge Alexandre de Moraes. Among the speakers, former President Jair Bolsonaro and Congressman Gustavo Gayer.
We will never bend our knees to no dictator. We will fight for our democracy no matter what cost. Brazil is now a beacon of hope for every single person who loves freedom and democracy in the world.
In contrast, President Lula da Silva held an Independence Day parade with almost no turnout. De Moraes banned the platform X in Brazil after owner Elon Musk refused to cave to his demands to suspend accounts of politicians, journalists, and even pastors who criticized Lula's leftist government. De Moraes has also frozen the assets of Starlink, an unrelated corporation owned by Musk, leading to Musk evacuating all SpaceX employees from Brazil. Since then, the Brazilian Bar Association has filed a claim to overturn the ban on X, and 23 Brazilian senators voted to impeach De Moraes. Here in the U.S., media, congressmen, and the Federal Communications Commission have publicly condemned De Moraes' blatantly illegal actions. Commissioner Brendan Carr wrote a public letter blasting the judge. To make matters worse, Justice De Moraes chose to enforce his decision by freezing the assets of Starlink, even though Starlink is a separate company with different shareholders that has broken no laws. Justice De Moraes has failed to respect universal and basic tenets of transparency, fair notice, and due process. Even the leftist Washington Post weighed in, condemning De Moraes. Taken together with Moraes' choice to freeze the assets of internet provider Starlink, this move aligns Brazil not with the free world, but with the likes of China and Russia. Some are calling this the greatest free speech battle taking place right now. In light of all this, Donald Trump is vowing to protect free speech in the U.S.
But I will sign an executive order banning any federal employee from colluding to limit speech, and we will fire every federal bureaucrat who is engaged in domestic censorship under the Harris regime.
And turning to the U.S. government, a new investigation is revealing a federal agent bragging about putting pro-lifers in prison. An undercover sting by Sound Investigations shows CIA contractor Gavin O'Blennis admitting to their tactics.
As long as the Bureau is able to progress far enough to be able to put pro-lifers in jail whenever they want.
Yeah.
You think that's on the agenda?
You can kind of put anyone in jail if you know what to do.
How?
You set them up. You create the situation to where they have no choice but to act on their impulse. And once they act on that impulse, then we call that entrapment. It's a fine line.
Does the Bureau practice entrapment a lot?
We get really close.
Not officially?
No. We get as close as we can. We get as close as we can to it without doing it.
So they can entrap some of these pro-lifers into doing things that they don't...
Depending, yeah. We call it a nudge.
A nudge.
A nudge.
O'Blennis also confirmed there were about 20 undercover federal agents in the crowd on January 6th.
I thought you said that there were FBI agents in the crowd at J6.
There always are when there's a big protest in D.C. Just in case it gets out of hand like that.
There
wasn't enough to turn that tide. I mean, I'm talking they maybe have 20. You needed 1,000 to get rid of that crowd.
So they had like, that was just 20?
Yeah, just to go through and observe, see what I can hear, that kind of thing.
Wow. Yeah, definitely. They needed 1,000 at least.
Well,
Wow.
see, that's also Capitol Police jurisdiction. They're in charge.
So that,
Why they didn't have more on hand, I don't know.
The Bureau didn't really want people knowing that they were in the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Because that would be overstepping their bounds.
A little bit.
Do people know that?
Why?
Did people know that the Bureau was in the crowd?
Nope, and probably never will.
You know agents that were there?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah, they work for the agency now.
Meanwhile, Trump is promising to pardon January 6 protesters unjustly imprisoned by Biden.
The moment we win, we will rapidly review the cases of every political prisoner unjustly victimized by the Harris regime, and I will sign their pardons on day one. I will sign it on day one.
In other news, Amazon is being accused of election interference. Amazon's Alexa, a virtual assistant, offered starkly different responses when asked about Donald Trump versus Kamala Harris.
Alexa, why should I vote for Trump?
I cannot provide responses that endorse any political party or its leader.
Alexa, why should I vote for Kamala Harris?
While there are many reasons to vote for Kamala Harris, the most significant may be that she is a female of color with a comprehensive plan to address racial injustice and inequality throughout the country.
After backlash, Amazon claimed it was just an error and has since fixed the so-called glitch. Funny how these errors only ever go one way. And turning to the UK, a showdown between pro-lifers and abortion activists. On Saturday, thousands turned out in London for the March for Life, including Catholic clergy and laity, holding an image of Our Lady of Yasna Gora. Pro-abort feminists couldn't pass up the opportunity to show their opposition. An American also led her own anti-religious protest. And back here in the U.S., Biden's Department of Justice is targeting yet another pro-lifer. The government filed a lawsuit against Matthew Connelly, a former Franciscan friar, for barricading himself in a restroom at a Philadelphia Planned Parenthood in 2021. It was part of a Red Rose Rescue, a peaceful pro-life protest that involves handing out roses to mothers in the waiting room, waiting to abort their children. Connelly is facing potentially decades in prison. He's just the latest in a string of pro-life imprisonments this year under Biden, including 89-year-old Ava Adel, a child victim of communism in Yugoslavia, who could end up dying in prison here in the U.S. And turning to church news, a former Vatican spokesman is being sued for abuse. A priest is accusing Father Thomas Rosica of grooming and sexual assault. Rosica, a Canadian Basilian priest, was once a prominent spokesman for the Vatican, best known for his pro-LGBT commentary. He fell into disgrace in 2019 after numerous works of his were revealed to have been heavily plagiarized. Now, the new lawsuit is alleging Rosica developed a mentoring relationship with a young priest in the 1990s, taking sexual advantage of him in the lead-up to World Youth Day in 2002. Rosica is denying the allegations. And in papal news, 7 men have been arrested for threatening to kill Pope Francis. According to Singapore's CNA, the Muslims were angry over the pontiff's visit to a mosque during his trip to Indonesia.
The suspects are accused of posting statements and images threatening bomb blasts at the Pope's public meetings in Jakarta. That includes visits to Southeast Asia's biggest mosque, Jakarta's cathedral, the presidential palace, as well as the National Football Stadium.
Police said they conducted searches in the house of one of the suspects and found bows and arrows, a drone, and Islamic State leaflets. Police said some of those arrested had pledged allegiance to IS. Police explained that the suspects were angry about Pope Francis' visit to Jakarta's Istiqlal Mosque, which is the largest in Southeast Asia. Those arrested were also upset about the government's appealed to television stations to refrain from the usual broadcasting of azan or Islamic call to prayer at about 6 p.m., where a live broadcast of Pope Francis' Mass at a stadium was in session. Now, television stations replaced the azan broadcast with a running text instead.
The 12-day papal journey also includes stops in Papua New Guinea, East Timor, and Singapore. Please pray for the Pope. That's today's Catholic News Roundup. Get the latest news and updates by going to stellamaris.media, that's stellamaris.media, and signing up to our email list. Please help me to grow this channel by sharing this content and subscribing. And don't forget to visit our sponsor, realestateforlife.org. If you're buying or selling a home, it's the best, most pro-life way to do it. Thank you so much for watching. May God bless your week. I'm Christine Niles.